we'll post these. Hi guys, this is Black Hammer. I'm joined with an author we have here at the Dragon Mountain Comic Con. This is Arthur Gibbs,
Yes.
and he's going to be telling us a little bit on his book he's wrote and he's brought here, Broken Justice.
Yes, it is. Broken Justice. So this is the book that I wrote. It took me about 5 years of hard labor but it has become a labor of love. I've always wanted to write a book, and I finally did.
Awesome. So give us a little background on this. Well, where are we coming from in this book?
All right. Well, let me give you my elevator spin. What I like to tell people about my book, and so I spent 20 years in Navy intelligence, and I have a bachelor's degree in history. So I used my experience and my knowledge to come up with a realistic scenario of what might happen if 90% of the world's population was killed off by plague. And really, in a nutshell, this is her journey through all the assholes that are still left.
That's a great way of putting it. So it's post-apocalyptic.
Yes.
Main character background. Well, what's she going, or what's bringing her to where she is now?
Well, Danica Justice is the name of my main character, which is why I call this the book one of the Justice Files and Broken Justice. It's just she is the main character. Her father, all her uncles, nephews have all been police officers, and she really doesn't want to be a police officer. She wanted to actually just go into the Air Force, but unfortunately the plague hit, so she was sort of forced to put on her father's uniform to keep her safe and her friends safe. So then she took the guise of like a state trooper, and she's just trying to live out the rest of her life in safety.
So when you're writing this book, what kind of mindset did it put you in? Like, how are you feeling during the writing of this book? Was it like trying to get across the moral, or just like aiming to please a certain crowd of readers? Or
No, it was more of a homage, I guess, and sort of a promise to myself. I've always my first post-apocalyptic book was Stephen King.
Yeah.
I mean, he is the guy that everybody wants to be.
Yeah.
And I'm no different. I mean, I've read The Stand, 5 or 6 times. So this book is sort of a love letter to Mr. King. If you're out there, I love you. But without the supernatural.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be honest. I mean, when I go into, like, say, one of these home improvement stores, especially after all the zombie phenomena.
Yeah.
By the way, this is zombie free, so there is no zombies. But I'm like, I'll look and think, this would be a good place to hang out. Put boards here, put boards. You got to do this. Oh, it's got everything. So I've always just kind of, sleep up here to keep. So I just kind of decided, instead of running that into my head, I put it all on paper.
right on. And I got to talk to you about it yesterday. It's an open-minded book. The lead character.
Yes.
She is a homosexual.
Yes, she is.
And you said we got a biracial male.
We do.
So this is something that I believe people are gonna like, because it's not your everyday average run of the mill. This is something that's opening up to a generation now,
Yes.
where things are changing. People, like it or not like it, it's happening.
Absolutely. Yes, Danica Justice is my main character, and she is gay. Growing up, I've always been fascinated by female heroes, even in comic books, but most of the books that I have read always used to have a female lead. So I knew when I wrote my book, my character was going to be female. And I decided I wanted to kind of push the limits a little bit further and make my character gay, which, I'm happy. I've seen a few negatives, I can't buy it, but for the most part, it's 99% of the time it's been very acceptable to people that have read the book, and they don't care about that. They care, and that's what I'm going for. It's just, hey, it's a character that happens to be gay in a world that is just 90% dead.
All right, there you go.
And my secondary character, Franklin Turnipseed is his name.
Yeah.
He is biracial, and he's sort of modeled after my stepson. And I think I told you, he just wishes he was badass.
Yeah.
And my third character is an Asian American female FBI agent. So it is very diverse. And I mean, there's really no political agenda behind that. It's just, I just wanted to kind of have representation.
Yeah. And, you know, I'm sure a lot of people out there, they can appreciate that. They can appreciate that. I mean, because, I mean, and number one, you're doing something that a lot of people that they write books, but they're not. You took it that step beyond just writing something. Is you put it out there for other people to read. So regardless of not, they're like the character's not. You're doing it.
Yeah.
You're out here now. You're here. You're selling books. You know, and that's something that most people can only dream of doing. Yeah. Now this is a book one.
Yes.
How many you plan on doing? Like a 3-run series, or just as long as it can go?
Yeah, well, my main goal is at least book 2. And I have that one planned out. Now, currently, I'm actually writing a fantasy, which, you know, I got inspiration or inspired last year at a convention. So I'm writing that, but then I'm going to go into book 2. And I imagine a trilogy. Now, this book is 180,000 words. Most of your mainstream novels are 100,000. So this is really 2 books. So if you want to be technical, maybe 4. But I don't want to milk it. I don't want to just write a book because I'm like, okay, I got to get revenue.
Yeah.
I'm only going to write if I have the story, and I have the next story. I know where I want to go with the next story. It's more like modern Western type of deal with U.S. Marshals involved. So I have that one planned out, and I have the beginnings of a third, and then if there's more and I can tell a legitimate story, then I'll put more out.
Right on. Well, I can't wait to read this book because I have a lot of novels that I plan on picking up today. I plan on picking up The Violent Fire by Stephen Simonis. I plan on this book, and we have another author back here, but his book's a little out of my category. It's a little darker. Not saying it's bad, and I hope I might be able to get to interview him today too because he's 17 and this is his first book.
Oh wow!
So
okay.
That's really cool to have someone like that here.
Yeah.
But appreciate having you here to do the interview. Appreciate you showing up to this convention. It's nice to have, you know, people just come out here. It's a family thing. And, you take time every day to come out here, you know, to set up. Mm-hmm. At your expense, too. And that's something people don't realize. We all have to pay to be here.
Right.
And we appreciate you coming out and joining us to get your book out there and start, putting this on the map with your book.
Well, I appreciate the invitation. I know I met the person that told me about this at the Boone convention, the one at, not Boone, but the Appalachian.
Yeah.
And I met that person there, and I was really hit. This is my first foray into Tennessee. In fact, I have Tennessee. Tennessee is in here. My main character actually hates Tennessee. and when you ask the main character, why do you hate Tennessee? He's like, oh, it's Tennessee. Do I need to say more? But nothing against Tennessee. I like Tennessee. But I appreciate the invitation.
But like I said, guys, this is the last day here at Dragon Mountain Comic-Con. Hopefully, whenever your next book comes out, we can have you back again, or maybe just next year. But whatever goes down, we hope to see you again, Mr. Gibbs. That's what we call you. Because every time I hear Gibbs, I think of what is that? NCIS, and it makes me laugh a little bit inside. But I appreciate you doing the interview with us, man.
Thank you.
And y'all catch the videos, and we'll be back with more.